Welcome to the 2022 Rep4 National Convening. Throughout this program, you will get to see the groundbreaking work being done by high school students as designers of educational change. Mentored by college student ambassadors and Rep4 Alliance leaders through a process of ideation and prototype creation. These teams of Rep4 designers from around the country are helping to rewrite the future of public education. This learner-led innovation process is helping to remove barriers to equity in higher education, transforming lives, communities, and education itself. Just by you being here, you are helping to guide the Rep4 journey. Let's get started and welcome to Rep4.
These are our future, so we have to help impact them first.
Our generation can really make a difference in all of this.
I feel like we've actually made something that can be possible and change our community.
Rep4 regional summits held over the summer at Alliance campuses across the nation were catalysts for change. At these events, students from high schools learn and utilize design thinking skills to generate ideas rooted in their lived experiences. This transformative process makes students not only central to innovations in education that include and support their journey, but architects of their own future. It's a big step through this empowered educational journey.
There's costs associated with it.
As it relates to innovation and inspiration and thinking about your degree and your careers.
Just because our mental state is where it's supposed to be, that doesn't mean that our peers are the same way.
All questions should be able to be answered, be able to be just explained.
People to be accountable for their own futures, but helping them get to that future.
Deep thinking.
Learning how to finance, and that sometimes it can be stressful.
Have connections to professors, so I don't come onto campus, get the imposter syndrome, get the feeling that I just want to go back home.
Just things to where though all the students can open up and give their input, so you could maybe get some insight to how each student is personally.
We all want to be known for something, no matter what it is, and even if we're not known for it, we could be it if we wanted to.
At first, I was not thinking about college, especially during the whole COVID thing because of money. But I was actually, I want to be the first one in my family to graduate college.
Nobody in my family has ever went to college, so I'm going in there blind. I have no idea what I'm doing. But with the Rep4 program, it really helped me understand the things and the process.
I was a girl who doesn't go out that much. I didn't have too many people to hang out with. I was always home watching over my kids. This was a really big world that I learned to have exist for me to be in. So it was just a lot of self-growth.
This has been a really big eye-opener. You really delve into a bunch of stuff, and you learn that you have to start an initiative to really help out areas that need it.
And I had no idea what I was going into, but when I got here, all we did was just throw out all the problems that we saw with the education system and work to fix it.
We went over like a lot of things like barriers personally for us, and we went over barriers that like we think would like cause other people not to have, and then self-reflect on that and talk to our groups, which in the end had us coming to a conclusion.
I feel like my group has been really creative and very collaborative, where I feel like we've actually made something that can be possible and change our community.
What we desire is peer-to-peer generated study resources to be incorporated into course material.
Our prototype will make transportation in college more accessible to on-campus students.
To combat those causes, we decided to come up with a prototype of a food market. So with the food market, it would be placed in low-income communities.
We gotta communicate and bond with great group of people, And so I feel like just us being able to communicate and us being able to brainstorm as a group is really getting us closer, helping us really understand each other.
I've also met some people who I feel like in the future I can reach out to and be like, hey, I'm looking for an internship, what do you know?
Climbing the cultural ladder will reignite these pre-existing centers and open doors for POC students seeking higher education.
I actually do feel heard because like we came up with everything in that room. Like they expanded our thinking, but like we came up with everything on our own and we discussed it, and yeah, so it just feels good to like have that voice.
It gave me a huge boost of confidence to really represent not only myself but what my race can represent in the education system.
Just something that's not too overwhelming for students to have while they're in school, so they can come to these places when they're not feeling well. I could share my creativity, and then what I hear from others, I can share theirs, and it all comes together very well.
That community around me helped to amplify my voice because we kind of all go through the same things.
It really helped me to realize that there's more people out there that can understand what I'm going through, like stress or whatnot. It really helps to know other people are going through the same thing.
It feels like it's giving me a big space where I can express myself and open myself. Even though I feel like I'm an introvert, I can't be an introvert here. And it's okay, and I can be more introverts.
Not just with the professor, I feel like with all the students in that specific class, they should all feel open and comfortable with each other.
If you're not doing well on tests, but you're completing all your homework assignments, or you're attending the office hours, and you're really putting an effort and putting in perseverance, that should be rewarded.
So the students get that opportunity to know, hey, the professor cares and wants to connect and have that connection to make me feel comfortable and peace in the classroom.
Having a voice and being able to be heard from faculty is not common. You don't normally take criticism or situations from your students, so for them to open their minds and be acceptable for us to talk to them and just to get a better understanding of what they could do better and what we could do better to help each other. It's one hand washes the other, so if we help them, they can help us.
They're taking in our ideas and they're building off of it to try to make the campus more comfortable. And I think that's really cool because that doesn't happen very often.
It can help us better school districts and school in general. And I feel like that bettered me because I feel like I had a voice to help.
They started to understand that these are our future, so we have to help impact them first before they can impact the world.
Find the underlying commonality. So what's the overall problem?
Professors should reflect the students about the pacing of the class after lessons or entire units.
Therefore, we focus on 4 main points: connections, scholarships, mentorship, and most importantly, individualization.
We want to change how you see failure as something negative to something positive.
So we've come up with a college class called First Year Experience.
We want internships to be available to every high schooler, regardless of financial or first generation status.
Hopefully this will be able to expand and we'll be able to hear a lot more people.
I hope that in the future this keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger until maybe this can be in almost every college and high school around the world, maybe.
Maybe go to countries where education system is not that good.
Fantastic.
Rep 4 is change. Rep 4 is empowerment.
Rep 4 is the student's ability to create change in the education system.
It is a really good opportunity for you to see another perspective than what you already see.
You do have a voice.
Wow. That's just me.
The ideas of Rep 4 student designers are just the beginning. Some ideas are already being put into use. Concepts from the 2020 pilot program and the 2021 national convening were evaluated and selected for prototyping. Among the ideas being developed from the initial convening are new directions in financial literacy, mentoring networks, admission, and mental health services. Once these prototypes are tested and refined, they will be packaged for widespread development at Rep 4 Alliance member campuses and other colleges and universities. Here's a look at a few ideas already in action and ideas birthed at the summits being prototyped, tested, and put into action. The process of imagining and transforming ideas.
Everything right here should be taught in high school.
It should be in college because that's where you start off.
You and me think alike.
Substance abuse support and mental health.
Undocumented students, like they support, they give a lot to culture and community.
Learn how to manage your money to empower me in the future.
For high school, I put budgeting your money because I feel like they don't teach you how to budget money.
And never be afraid to be a leader and to speak your opinion.
What are for high school and all the troubles and all the obstacles I would have to overcome. So I think that would be really smart.
Do you think it'll be more for high school students, college, or life?
Can you put health insurance on the lifelong one?
If you see one that can go for every single one, you can get one, rewrite it down and put it there.
If they see me doing it, other kids of my type can do it.
Being a part of the initial program in 2020, it's really great now as a student advisor to see that the ideas that came from there to be prototypes and in action now.
So my role with Rep 4 is a prototyping advisor, working with the students, learners, taking their inspirations and provocations and transforming these into actual ideas, products, and services that we can scale across the university and the Alliance.
So what we have here is a prototype that was developed by students. High school students were a part of this program where they presented a prototype on experiences that they had in high school and what would best fit them as they transition to college. So I implemented the prototype to the summer bridge program.
The typical education process, you have the expert, the faculty, teaching the students. So to flip that picture and have the students learn by being engaged in the process, it's pretty amazing, it's pretty empowering.
Last year was our first year. We have 55 participants and all 55 matriculated to the academic year. And we were successful with implementing that prototype. And so because of our success, we decided to use it again this year. And so with this past summer, we had 92 students to participate, and all 92 students successfully matriculated to this fall semester.
When I look back on how I was in the summer of 2020 initial program, I was a very scared 17-year-old kid that was going off to college. It's really great to see that the ideas that we had in summer 2020 are now prototypes, and now are helping students that were just like us at that one moment, but now can have less worries and know that their voices are heard.
The unique thing with this prototype is that the students were given an opportunity to present an idea from their own experiences. And I think that that's what set us aside from any other bridge program in the country, because we were able to use real life situations and implement them through a summer bridge program that impacted real life people to ultimately create success.
Have you ever wondered why we only include grades on a transcript? We think that is unfair. All activities that students find valuable should be included.
Our plan and passion is to help higher education-bound people discover and apply their passion to the real world.
Our program will be personalized around our students' interests. We'll provide resources in communication, all while keeping their success in mind.
Our solution is to reduce the cost of living for higher education students.
I have created a program that will supply groceries to food insecure homes and act as a teaching moment for students who wish to help.
We believe that students struggle financially in a holistic way that goes beyond the types of assistance that financial aid offices currently offer.
So what we're doing now is collaborating across all Rep 4 institutions to move ideas into action. Students across the country are advising on the topics for financial empowerment, digital studio. This will allow students from high school, from the starting point, to get tips and advice for college and after college.
No matter what we do, after high school, in our lifetime, financial literacy will always be the base component to living a successful life.
That could be lifelong, because nowadays a lot of
things that I feel like I see people struggling with. More of like the social aspect of it, because obviously everyone knows, the money, things like that, and tuition, but I was talking about social stigmas and people not necessarily being able to fit in. So that always can suck.
It kind of shows the difference that education can really make in a person's life.
And then understanding like problems in the outside world that, eventually we're gonna have to live in. It's just really helping us get a feel for it and to create a solution for it in the future.
Students are too focused on core material, trying to pass, trying to turn in assignments that they don't really learn the necessities that they need transitioning into college.
Some of us don't really know, just because we've never had classes that teach us. I know for my school we had a class, but it didn't go in depth with money.
Generations should be more successful than the last generation. School's not teaching financial literacy in class is like, okay, well, you're just kind of keeping us where we started. That's not the point of life.
But if there was a program like this, it would just help even out everything and kind of level the field for everyone so that they're educated.
That'll also create a domino effect in which we'll have a higher population of graduating high school students and graduating college students.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool that y'all get to hear our inputs versus, the traditional way of, a big group of people just coming together and saying, okay, this is what we're gonna give the students, this is what we're gonna do for them. Y'all actually hearing students' voices and hearing what they want to see change.
When it's time to put our ideas and thoughts into action, this is what leads to the prototype stage.
Financially Lit Digital Studio is an e-learning platform that leverages students as creators. So it's a peer-to-peer platform where students engage to create financial literacy modules. They engage in peer-to-peer mentoring to not only teach other students, but to also engage in the creation of financial literacy education.
Hey everyone, my name is Eli. Welcome to the Student Loans module.
Leveraging the technology, the online platform is going to help us scale, and expand. So we are ready to launch and scale this project with the right partners, specifically with our, students, our designers. They come from first-gen diverse backgrounds, and this is going to help them, not just help them, but their communities. Being involved as designers, problem solvers, is really going to help us scale beyond just the learners, because they're going to take this back to their school, to their family. So we see this as the right path, to engage and scale this project beyond just the high schools and the student designers who are involved in this project.
Put what you think some of your strengths are up there, and then what your potential is.
We also found that students are calling attention around for basic needs as a foundation for learning. Students wanting to be seen for their strengths and their potentials in college admissions.
A lot of students, they get passed up for the opportunities in all the schools that they could have applied to because of their test scores.
It's nice to see like everyone understanding that no matter who they are, like they have their own strengths and everyone has something that they can do. But in my opinion, confidence is key.
And the really cool thing about these students that are in here now is they're taking what already was created by the original group, the change that we saw that needed to happen, plus a change in a new perspective sees, is just adding a whole new depth to the project.
And not just what we are as current students, but what we can be going past our schooling career and to help us get there.
I feel like it's giving people opportunities to hear more about what students need, like things that they want to see change within their community.
I think that would give a lot more students a lot more chances to come to school, because some people don't even apply to schools because they feel like, oh, I know I don't have the test score, so why would I even waste my time applying for it?
There is a very big population in high school students that really struggle with their mental health. I myself am one of them. And so I find it really important that they learn, like at a younger age, how to take care of their mental health, how to take care of themselves.
Change a policy, or are you more like...
I think I want to change the type of students that come to Amarillo College, because personally, students like me don't usually stick it out.
This experience opened my eyes to how like other students experience the same problem as me, or like they have the same worries as me. So it's great that we are coming together and trying to find a solution to these problems so that our younger siblings or like our children in the future can don't have to struggle with it, and they can have access to programs that we're coming up with.
Having that extra like support will allow more people apply to college in general, and I know specifically like where I'm from Philadelphia, so not a lot of students really want to go to college. They feel like they're not supported, they feel like they don't have that opportunity, so having people pushing them towards it will definitely help.
What comes out of these students' ideas is accessibility. I think that's what this whole program's about, making college accessible and making it so students know what they're doing coming in, they know what to expect.
I like that we are being seen, we can be heard, and like we don't always have to face it alone, and we know other people are there to look out for us.
Knowing that this is in a pilot right now gives me hope for students to be successful in life and to really find their purpose in life and to not feel alone.
I can do whatever I set my mind to, and be able to be heard and hear everybody else's thoughts and be open-minded. I like the feeling.
What we heard from the students is that they want to be seen and heard for who they are, for their brilliance, persistency, resiliency. So we took that and we looked at the whole admissions process. We want to see them beyond just their GPA scores or SAT scores, all the way to how do we leverage their strengths and capabilities to map a really successful journey based on that strength. So this is the Promise Unlocked. It's getting them not just through the door, but all the way to graduation.
It makes me feel valued. It makes me feel like we care about like where our education is going and how to better it.
Coming up with solutions with the whole group, I feel like less helpless about the whole situation. I feel like our generation can really make a difference in all of this.
I've never been one of the high scholars or in all those very high advanced classes. This is like complete opposite of what I've been through, so it's just an eye-opener to what I've been missing out on, I guess.
I think it's really important to be heard, especially when you're younger, because you're growing up into the world that what's already here. And like for myself, I guess being in the program, and it just gives me it gives me hope.
I think it will be really helpful for the future generation, so I'm really excited.
40, 50 years from now, we'll be, the voices of the world. So I feel like us, making a statement now can really change the future.
I feel more accepted, that my opinion and like my ideas are being listened to.
I'd say Rep 4 is life-changing. Yeah, it holds a lot of possibilities.
problems in public higher education are too complex to solve alone to make change and meet the pressing needs of today and tomorrow. That's why the Rep4 Alliance was created. The Alliance is a powerful network of diverse institutions of all types: research, regional systems, HBCU, HSI, and community colleges. These forever learning leaders, along with the key technology partners, seek new insights from students, particularly those that higher education is failing, giving them voice, tools, and the support for the betterment of all, and to set the stage for them to soar. The Alliance works together to guide learners along their transformative journeys, provide expertise, test prototypes, implement ideas, and work together for meaningful change.
The power in this collective is once we identify the prototypes that can be transformative, is that we have to scale them.
This will change the landscape of how we do things for our students. It will change the landscape of education, of how we prepare teachers for education.
These students want to be heard. They want to have a hand in crafting the experience.
Think about ourselves in collaboration, not in competition.
How to be a living ecosystem, not just with our students and our institutional structures, but with one another.
To empower the possible.
We're going to be that drop of water that creates the ripple effect.
We're excited to work collaboratively among SHIP and among our partner institutions.
We have a group of presidents who are highly engaged in this whole process. And quite frankly, without having that leadership engagement, we wouldn't be able to spread the work the way that we need to spread it.
One principle is that what we learn we want to share, because we want to make public education better everywhere. Education is a large and complex system, so change always will come slowly. So the purpose of an alliance is really to accelerate learning. It's to put our students, and particularly those we have been unable to serve in the numbers we want to serve, at the center of the conversation as designers, as supporters to the change process, so we know we can see where we're going. We can open up our minds to approaches we haven't yet considered.
The importance for us at the college of being part of Rep4 is that it normalizes innovation rather than making it a scary word. There is a clear process and that we're not the only ones doing it.
The system joined Rep4 because it's an incredible opportunity to work with leaders across the nation in transforming higher education to be more attuned to the needs of our students.
Youth, no matter where they are, whether they're in the South or the West or in the Midwest, there are common issues that they're concerned about. And this alliance is fostering partnerships or collaborations that are allowing us all to come together to solve these challenges.
And we've got to think about how to be a living ecosystem, not just with our students and our institutional structures, but with one another. Instead of thinking of ourselves as being in pitched competition, like competing for students, because we hear these narratives all the time. How are we evolving together to serve our students better?
We have an advantage because we're learning about the student voice now before the beginning of the semester. And we're able to spend proactive time with these students before they become busy with classes and engagement activities and all the things that go on at the beginning of the fall semester.
These are campus-wide, courageous conversations that need to happen, especially when you're wrestling with things like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and resilience. How are we tackling these issues? And if you don't have that leadership involvement, we're not going to get as far as we need to with them.
We're thinking about
social mobility. We're thinking about strengthening community. We're thinking about the empowerment of students, their families. It's going to take all of us working together to achieve that.
Rep 4 allows us the opportunity to connect with those peers and colleagues and hear what they're doing, how they're addressing these issues. And as we're thinking about where we sit in the country, in different areas of the country, we understand that those challenges and struggles are very similar.
Getting together with folks from the other schools has been fantastic. Again, to learn about what they do, how they're approaching things, the differences in their students and their regions within the country. That brings a lot of value to the diversity of the project in and of itself.
As a chief academic officer, I now have a bigger network of other chief academic officers. It's hard work and it requires peer support, peer learning. So I'm learning as a chief academic officer from other schools. They may be doing something really well. We're doing some things well, and sharing that piece has been very valuable for me just in my role.
We have commonalities, but we really have unique situations. And I think what Rep 4 is doing is allowing us to address our unique situations without creating this strict formula that we must follow. You've given us the tools to reshape our environment.
So our voices are always stronger together. Having the opportunity to be a part of a national network, to be a part of a national alliance of institutions and institutional leaders that value this work, it broadens the opportunity for this to spread. It broadens the opportunity for this to get national attention. It broadens the opportunity for us to honestly create change. The issues we're talking about are a microcosm of society. And if we value our young people, then we really need to be using their issues and applying themselves. Working with the other institutions, we are institutionalizing this, we're scaling it so that we impact more students.
So the more number of universities and colleges participate in Rep 4, the greater will be the learning curve and the faster we will get to serving our student populations better.
We know change isn't linear. We know that it will situate differently in different contexts. So the purpose of the Alliance and its regionality and anchoring all sorts of regions, all sorts of institutional types, is to be able to see how change situates within various institutions.
And so none of you have been through this experience before, but all of you are able to provide a level of support for each other.
There are a lot of people designing for education and doing really good work, doing empathy interviews, trying to understand student experiences, and that's great, and really good stuff comes from that. What Rep 4 offers differently is training the students to do the empathy work so that it's not just coming out with great solutions and great opportunities for the educational redesign, but it's giving these students, hundreds of students, the skill set to be able to bring that energy, the design skills and the prowess, all different spaces.
It's not students at the front, faculty on the other side, whether it's students talking to faculty or faculty talking to students, but having it integrated.
When faculty joined them for an afternoon of discussion about these recommendations, faculty reported that it really helped enhance their understanding of students because there wasn't an evaluation as a part of it. They were there to really listen to students, not to help them through their course, but to really help students through the college experience. So we already know that faculty are taking those suggestions to heart and looking at spreading that across our campus. Systemic change has to happen at the course level because that's where their academic success sits. Their sense of belonging can be enriched if they feel successful academically.
For equity, community, change, and learners, and that's what we're about. We're about, that's what Rep 4 is about, is having your student voice to talk about change and how we can impact the community and make a difference.
We think about how we draw in employers. For example, we have a great grocery retail chain in the region, and they have high school students involved. So how do we wrap our employers and their employees who fit the model of student that we're looking to engage with? How do we draw them in and make them part of it?
Right, so everybody's part of some community, and many times many communities, and that includes businesses, people who work at businesses, people who are going to be patrons of your business. All of these things are really important aspects of a community. For that, we need people coming together to solve community challenges.
All of us are public institutions, which means that our mission is to serve our states and our regions. And so by understanding our communities better, we'll become better institutions and we'll be able to make a greater impact.
If we hone in on the regional networks and think about the ways in which we are going outside the walls of K-12, we're going outside the walls of post-secondary, who are traditionally both siloed institutions, and being able to bridge together, that's dynamic. That's game-changing.
The possibilities are exponential when we are able to collectively come up and bridge these ideas. The students found the solutions. Now we just have to take those solutions and make a difference in our universities, which ultimately impacts society. I'm telling you, some of the things that the students have come up with, we really need to listen to bring about change.
This cohort of institutions, as disparate as we are, as representing different parts of the country as we do, all of our students and all of our communities can galvanize the individual powers of our institutions to a greater impact collectively.
And as the future of higher education, you're going to help shape us to be better.
We don't really know where our impact's going to be. We can continue to grow on these ideas that we spread and share, but just like TED Talks, they spark other ideas and other communications. And I really think that's what Rep 4 to me is. It's that model of taking an idea and spreading that idea, not just within our campus, but across campuses and across other institutions.
If I were to see this in 10 years, my hope would be that we've created prototypes that are actually institutionalized, that we have a broad spectrum of ideas and solutions and strategies that were grown out of the minds of the students, and that change is actually taking place based on the prototypes and the ideas and the solutions that students created.
So Rep 4 today is a drop of water that's creating a ripple effect. We hope it will create a movement for student voice in education. We hope that more will join us, individual students from all over the globe who will come to have this empowering experience and take control of their lives, and more institutions will see this as a framework for helping them to move through the changes they need.
We have enough information to know what it takes to bring about change. We've got to invest in it, and I think this alliance is on that road to doing it. It's giving voice, it's giving power to the voiceless right now. We're on the right trajectory.
Thank you for joining us. Now it's time for you students to be a part of the Rep 4 journey by checking out this year's design concepts and upvoting your favorites. Your votes will help determine which concepts go from drawing board to prototype and prototype to action. Voters are also eligible to participate in the first ever Rep 4 Global Summit in 2023, where you can design your own path in the future of higher education. Summit participants will receive a guaranteed college admission to multiple Rep 4 institutions and have the opportunity to compete for a full ride scholarship to any Rep 4 Alliance school. Educators are also invited to join the movement and serve as ambassadors in the Global Summit experience. You are empowered to help determine the future of higher education. So what will you rep for?